You've had a couple starts on the left wing. I know you played it a little bit last year too. How do you feel you're doing so far?
Hopefully good. Nah, but just trying to improve every time I go out there in training, just to try and help the team offensively and defensively. I think I'm able to go up and down quite a bit. So I think can still be a little bit more decisive when going forward and getting involved a little bit more. But I think if I'm put there going forward more often, just try and get more and more comfortable. But no matter where I am, I try and do the best I can.
I know you're particularly in the middle of the field. You're good at taking people on with dribble and beating them. When you're on the wing, is that any different? Does it take a different type of approach?
Yeah, I think when you're in the middle of the field, a lot of times the way you're pressed is a little bit different. It's more straight on. You can kind of go left or right. When it's out wide, you have to worry about the line and whatnot. But a lot of the principles are the same. So I think it's just about the confidence that I have on the day, expressing myself, and trying to just use all aspects of whether it's in the middle of the field or out wide to just get by people.
Has there anything you've been working on, crossing, anything like that, to try to improve your skills as a winger?
Yeah, I think the bigger focus has been just finishing in and around the box. I think a lot of times I'm a little bit more in the pockets than more so out wide. So in and around the box, 1-2s, combining. I know I'm able to play the passes in behind, so just about getting the finishes off is probably the next focus for me.
I know Pedro went in with something today.
Maybe
The attacks down the left are starting to increase more than they were at the beginning of the season. I'm attributing some of that to having Pedro back and having a consistent starter on the left wing. Would you agree with that? Well, why would you think there's more attacks now coming down the left?
Obviously Pedro's a very big part of what we do going forward, especially down the left side. When you have someone with his quality to able to put crosses in the box, you do that. But also too, the few times I've played down the left, we talk quite a bit about we enjoy playing 1-2s and keeping the ball and finding each other. So just trying to do that, as well as if that's where the space is in games, it's out wide, try and get the ball wide, and then from there create something else. But we combine quite well, I feel like.
How has your connection with Pedro grown over the past couple of times you've gotten to start on the left side?
It's been good. I think we've always had a connection, even when I was playing in midfield, just because I've kind of done the left side a little bit more. So I was always having to be an option for him. And then I think last year against Philly, actually, there was a little 20-minute spell where I went out wide, and we've always made jokes about it since then. And then, when I found out I was playing there again against Philly, he had a field day. So I think we've always had a good connection over the past couple seasons.
You talk about decisiveness. When you're doing these really short field scrimmages and training, how does that kind of help your processing?
It's very important. Everything is short and sharp. Not a lot of space to do too much, so you got to be very quick and decisive about what you do. And I think opportunities like that, seeing the ball go in those small-sided games, is really helpful because it helps with the confidence and just shows, in the tight spaces that you're able to create something.
Jay, after the game on the weekend, how do you analyze the midfield? Is something that you guys need to improve on? What you did good? How do you analyze the midfield?
Every position is always something we need to improve on. I think it's hard for me to speak for the midfielders as I played out wide, but I think the rules are always the same when you're playing in the midfield, just trying to get on the ball and play forward as much as possible. And Nashville's a difficult team to do that against. They really compact the middle of the field. So I won't speak on the midfielders too much about how it went for them, but I know whoever is in the midfield, they're trying their best to make sure that happens.
Jay, it feels like the midfield pairing is changing very frequently throughout the season. Now you're adding Lexi, starting to play there sometimes. Is that a challenge when you're changing that so many times?
Challenge for me?
Or for the team in general?
It can be. It's something that the coach is doing, and something that he wants to see what the best pairing is. But for us as players, it's our job to just go out and work the best we can, no matter who's on the field. So I think it's not an excuse I'd hide behind. It's for us to play the best with whoever's out here, and that's the point of having a team. So.
For yourself, where do you feel playing best? And the midfield in the middle, or like on the side on the left, like you played last time?
For me, I've played in the midfield my entire footballing career, so I think it'd be smart for me to say in the middle. But like I said, growing up, my dad focused on trying to get me a education to play anywhere on the field. So no matter where it is, I try and be as comfortable as possible.
As a kid, who was your idol on that position that you mentioned?
Iniesta.
Iniesta.
Being a dog guy.
I'm not the biggest dog guy. Growing up, I wasn't, but as I got older, I think as a kid I was scared of him. But as I got older, I started to lose that fear. So I've gotten a lot more comfortable with them over the years. A lot of friends have them, and I'm a lot calmer around them now. And it was great to see the dogs out here today, actually.
So
So
we're happy and not scared. to see
yeah, no, we're happy to see them.
Is that a little bit of a release to be like, all right, well, there's dogs at practice. Like we're trying to
Yeah.
keep it loose around here.
Yeah, it helps bring the vibes up a little bit, calm everything down. I was tired walking up the field, and it helped just bring a little bit of life to everything. So it was great to see them today.
Being in the midfield already, how have those skills helped translate when you are on that left side? And because we saw you in Nashville kind of tucking in a little bit to help in those moments where it was a bit of an overload. So how has that helped?
It's helped a lot. I think you're on the left, but a lot of times, like you said, I'm tucked into the middle of the field, and that helps because I'm comfortable in those positions. Defensively, I understand the role of a midfielder and what the midfielder might want out of a winger. So to try and help Clicky whenever I can, but also to just knowing when it's time to be out wide, just understanding the balance between the two. But playing in the pockets, it wasn't too difficult for me. Good.
It's like a terrier.
Huh?
A terrier. You're
That's-
sneaky fast, aggressive. I think that would be your dog.
I'll look into it. Thank you guys.
Thank you.